Greetings gamers, welcome to part 13 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 9, Path of Radiance. In today's episode I have to deal with Kotaff and his Night Killer as well as very good stats. I came into this map remembering that you can kind of beat him with your units, but like, I'm pretty sure he doubles half of my units over here. So what I actually have to do is I have to use Titania to come over here and do such. After I visit that house with Titania, I am going to be going immediately to a cut so that it's not just you all watching me move her, because it's going to take quite a while for her to get over here. As you can see, it's already going to be like 3 turns before she even gets this house, let alone gets to Kotaff. Now, he does have a Night Killer, which is effective against mounted units on horseback. It only has 7 might, though, so that means it only has 14 might. Granted, that's still a decent chunk of damage. As you can see here, you know, Titania's got 13 defense. That means she's going to take 15 damage from this guy. Humans, yeah. Come on. You are so rude. If you can't tell, I'm playing dead, so go away. Huh? Why? Because my mother told me if you ever meet a Bjork, play dead. He will leave you be. It's not true, is it? I knew it wasn't true. I knew it. Well, then take this and get out of here, quickly. I hate humans. I don't want to talk to you. Shoo. So I get a restore staff, which is nice. Staff that restores a unit to normal condition. That works on every single status condition in this game, which is great. Now, speaking of that cut, I'll see you in a moment. And I am back, gamers, with Titania here and fully healed, ready to take on this enemy particularly. This is not going to be that difficult of a fight, but what I'm probably going to do here, just because it makes sense, is I'm going to let him attack me instead of me attacking him. Now, Kotaff is interesting. He's actually the first instance of an enemy in this game with a skill, which is counter in certain instances, causes enemy to receive half the damage he deals to this unit. Now, granted, this isn't something you're going to see often, but I've actually had a couple of deaths because of this, because his counter basically is the reason why he KO'd Titania, or another one of my units. So it's probably good to be mindful of that as I continue on giving Mist some experience points. I could have been doing this while I was moving Titania all the way over here, but I totally forgot that I had people that needed healing. Level 2, not that great of a level up, Mist. Not that great at all. But D rank in staves, I really appreciate that because she needs all the help she can get with staves. I do believe I have a ward staff. I didn't put it on Rise for this chapter. What I normally do is I give it to Rise, and then I give it over to Mist for this chapter so that she can do nothing but spam it. But then again, I do believe you need a D rank in staves in order to use it, so it probably wouldn't have been all that useful in this chapter regardless. Death to the rogues who defy Daein. Defend our brethren. Erase their shame. Okay, so he attacked with the javelin, so now he's not being doubled, but what does that matter, really? I mean, granted, this means that I can't really attack him at range with any of my units. Yeah, that's... The only thing I can do here is actually just let Titania soften him up a little bit. I'm going to equip the Steel Axe first. Oh, okay, I already did just now. And I just move on, you know. Let Kotaff soften himself up by attacking Titania. And he missed. there goes that wonderful counter. I do believe that was... No, that wasn't the first proc. Titania had a proc before in this playthrough, I believe. 12 damage. So this is awesome. And why it's so awesome is simply due to the fact that, well, he only has 1 health left. This means that I can pretty well cherry pick who I want to get the KO. Granted, none of my units, like I've said before, I'm keeping. So it makes the most sense for the KO to be on Ike. The problem is I would just prefer to immediately seize. So, for sake of Boyd needing to be a better unit right now, I'm going to try with him. If he doesn't KO, I'm going to have to use somebody at range. Alright, cool.
Alright, in the name of the Empire, cleanse my shame.
Alright, a decent level up for Boyd. He needs all the help he can get for the time being, as I am stuck using him for a little bit. Stuck really using all of these units. But seize the map and clear. We defeated their commander, but we still don't know what they were after. It seems unlikely that they were merely pursuing Princess Alencia. I wonder if Daein is planning to invade Gallia. Perhaps Crimea was only a stone on which to wet their blades? No matter the motive, the fact remains that Daein crossed the border. Under such circumstances, hostilities between Daein and Gallia could break out at any time. So, it's war. Again. Well, not really, because the war is still going on. If war erupts between the Bjork and Legus, it's only a matter of time before other nations become involved. Could Daein truly mean to set the land aflame in a blaze of war? If that happens, many of our citizens will be sacrificed on the altar of their ambition. We, too, need to choose which way to move, whose side to take. Whose side? We shall never support Daein. Unthinkable. Captain Titania, we are human. Would you truly have us side with Legus against other humans? That is unthinkable. Bjork and Legus.
Are you going to sit here and argue about a war that hasn't started? You Bjork are all so timid, it's pathetic.
Leave. You must not say such things.
Mordecai, leave. What do you think? Will it come to war?
Our claws are sharp. If Daein invades Gallia, we are ready for battle. If our king wills it, war will come.
I like it not. War brings pain, sorrow.
This is troubling.
Enough. We have lost much time. Let us make for the palace. We must reach tonight's camp before the sun sets.
Is the palace still far?
On your skinny Bjork legs, it is very far, but we will do as we can.
Castle Gallia.
My Lord Ike, everyone.
Princess Alencia.
I heard about Commander Grail. I don't know what to say.
Don't worry, we're all right. We're getting by. Somehow.
Oh, Ike.
The king has arrived.
Hey there.
Thank you for coming to Gallia Palace. I am Kanagus, ruler of the Kingdom of Gallia.
These are the Grail Mercenaries. I am Ike, their commander.
You have been raised well, young pup. I didn't recognize you.
What?
When you were here, you were still a small child.
Is that you, Titania? It's good to see you.
The pleasure is all mine, Your Majesty.
The two of you are friends? How does the king know me?
I have something I must tell you about your father, Grill. Leave Mordecai. Leave us now. Prepare rooms so our guest may have a place to rest and heal their wounds.
At once, my lord.
Would it be best if I were to leave as well?
No, princess. I would have you stay, and this one also will stay. This is Gifka, my shadow. Pay him no more heed than you would the air.
Understood. I would have Titania and Soren stay with me as well. Me?
So be it. Now then, where to begin? Titania, how much did Grail tell his son?
Ike was raised with no knowledge of Gallia whatsoever, nor does he recall ever having been here.
Is that so? Then it is best for me to tell him all that I know, although that is not much.
That's all right. Whatever you can tell me would be much appreciated. I want to know more of my father.
You have good eyes, honest and brave. I see your father in them. Long ago, Grail, your father, worked as a mercenary for Gallia. We forged a strong bond, he and I. To speak truly, I still do not trust the Bjork, but your father was different. Princess Alencia's father, King Raymond, and his brother Lord Renning are also of a different kind. All are, or were, exceptional men in whom one could put his trust. Oh ho, Titania, you are an exception as well. Among Bjork females, you are unique.
You are most gracious, your majesty. My father was a mercenary for Gallia?
Correct. And you your sister, you were both born here in Gallia. You stayed only for a short time, but part of your childhood was spent within these borders.
Mist and I were born here? Is that so? I don't remember any of this at all. How would you remember being born?
I feel your parents were carrying a dark secret. Someone was hunting them, I'm sure of it. Once, over 10 years ago, and after your mother had been slain, your father chose to leave Gallia. Before he left, I went to him and asked him to share his tale. I asked him, "Why are you being chased? Is there anything I can do to help?" But I was unable to loosen his tongue. And then I heard he had returned to Gallia, and I thought I had another chance to hear his tale. His fate was black indeed. If I had been faster, if I had hastened my steps, perhaps things would have been different.
Wait, now I understand. The voice I heard, that was you, wasn't it?
His wound was fatal. I could do nothing. I thought it best not to interfere in his final moments, so I remained hidden. Tell me, Ike. At his last, did he confess anything to you? The identity of the Black Knight, did he reveal it?
The Black Knight? No. I don't know who he was. My father entrusted me with this command. Told me to trust King Kanagas and to live peaceably in Gallia. He said to forget everything else.
Is that so? Well then, let me do as I can. If any of your mercenaries desire to live here, I will so arrange it. I will vouchsafe them homes and land.
Your kindness is truly appreciated, but speaking for myself, I couldn't live here in peace. Not now. I will avenge my father. I cannot so quickly forget the past. Or the Black Knight. But Ike, that's not... I know. I'm not strong enough. An opponent who can defeat my father is well beyond my reach, but that's why I've devoted myself to growing stronger. I will lead my father's mercenaries and prepare for the day when my chance for revenge arrives.
A prudent course of action. You look as one who would be more impulsive, but you are Grail's son after all.
Ha! You've matured, Ike. It seems like yesterday that you were merely a child. Titania.
And now I would ask a boon of you. The strength of your mercenary band, Ike, would you lend it to Princess Alencia?
Are you serious? King Kanagas.
Gallia and Crimea are allied nations. That cannot be denied. However, this alliance in reality binds only the royal families. It is not respected by our citizenry.
The people of Gallia are seldom seen in Crimea, are they? Even though our nations are friends, the people of Crimea have little real understanding of the Legus. Many of our people still use that undignified name, subhuman, when they speak of the Legus. My father's heart was filled with shame and sorrow over what you describe. More than any king in our history, he wanted to deepen relations between our people, and then...
Perhaps that is why Daein targeted him. Their hatred of the Legus is well known.
Could it be?
In my heart of hearts, I would like to take guardianship of Princess Alencia and assist her in the rebuilding of Crimea. However, anti-Bjork sentiment is running high here in Gallia. If we were to offer a safe harbor to Alencia, I feel many of our elder statesmen would protest. They would say that we are giving Daein an ideal excuse to attack.
Which means Gallia can't offer Princess Alencia any relief at all. Is that it?
Unfortunately, it is true.
My Lord Ike, King Kanagas has advised me to turn to the Begnion theocracy for aid in Crimea's restoration. He says we should make for Begnion a formal request and gain the support of their shields. Passage to Begnion will require several months at sea. An escort will be necessary.
As you know, we lack the numbers to serve as a complete mercenary army. So if the princess were willing to hire us as an escort, it would be an offer beyond our expectations. Titania, Soren. I think perhaps we should accept the king's offer. What do you say?
It's what you want, right, Commander? Well then, it's our job to follow you.
However you wish to proceed is fine. I will do all in my power to ensure that our road leads to success. Understood. As of now, the Grail Mercenary shall assume the honor of serving as escort to the Princess of Crimea. Princess Valencia, our journey together will undoubtedly be a long one. May we serve you well.
Oh, thank you very much. I only pray that I, in turn, may be worthy of your service.
And of course, a good old save. Chapter 10, Prisoner Release.
Hey, Ike, I heard you're leaving, going to Begnion, eh?
Hello, Ranoff. I was hoping I'd see you. I'd wanted to thank you for everything you've done. I'm glad to have the chance before I leave. Well, aren't you the dutiful one? Hey, that reminds me. You were born here in Gallia, right? I knew there was something odd about you. You're awfully friendly for a Bjork, you know? Oh, you might not know, but a Bjork is what... I know what it means. It's what you call us humans, right? Oh, knew that, did you? Well then, let me tell you something else. When we use the word human, we mean it much the way you Bjork do when you call us subhuman. Really? It's an insult to be called human? Glad you told me. I would never have guessed. I should warn you, if you run across any Legoos who call you that, be careful. They're no friend of yours. Got it, thanks. I won't forget it. But I've digressed long enough. Let me explain why I'm here. Huh? Princess Valencia, may I have a moment of your time?
Yes, of course.
The king asked that I give you this. Please, accept it as a gift.
What, may I ask?
Within that leather pouch is 20,000 gold pieces. Bjork currency, of course.
Oh, I truly appreciate this generous offer, but a gift of this magnitude is not something I can accept. King Kanagas has done so much more than necessary already.
The king is ashamed that he cannot, at this time, provide any personal support. Please, will you accept his apology and acknowledge his desire to aid you?
But...
No? Well then, let's try this.
Yes?
You accept the king's gift. Then, as payment for conducting you safely to Gallia, you hand it over to Ike. Come on, Ranoff. You can't expect her to accept this, and it's an outrageous fee no matter how you look at it. 20,000 gold for the life of a princess? Perfectly reasonable. In fact, it almost borders on insulting. Consider how you have suffered, the lives you have lost. 10, no, 100 times this amount would not be unreasonable.
I have reconsidered. I will accept the king's kindness. In turn, I will present it to my Lord Ike. You will accept it, will you not?
I will. Thank you.
No, my Lord Ike. It is I who must thank you.
20,000 gold. Yes. Ha ha ha. Well now, that's settled. Let's move on. Unfortunately, we do not have any ships here in Gallia. If you are to find a ship that will take you to Begnion, you must return to occupied Crimea. If there's no other way, then we'll just have to risk it. No matter how cautiously you proceed, you're certain to run into Daein forces. Keep that in mind. I understand. It's too bad we're so short on soldiers. Still, there's not much we can do about that now. However, I will review our supplies carefully before we depart. In regard to your personnel problems, the king has decided to lend you what aid he can. Leith, Mordecai?
I will join you.
Mordecai and Leith, both of you? Are you sure?
None of the others could stand the idea of traveling with humans. I myself tremble with loathing at the thought of going to Begnion, but when the king gives an order, obedience is the only option.
That may be, but having witnessed the combat prowess of the Gallians for myself, I know how fortunate we are.
We will not fail you.
Yes. I have no intention in becoming friends. Do not forget that, and stay out of my way.
You must forgive Leith. Her tongue cuts as deep as her claws do. I will return once I've reported to the king. While I'm gone, please finish your preparations for departure. Very well. Ike, here's a summary of our last battle. Gained 20,000 gold, so now my total is 20,205. Combat EXP 1,047, bonus XP just 40, which is not all that bad. MVP was, of course, Titania. She took out the entire north half and the boss. And new allies, Mist, Roth, Marcia, Leith, and Mordecai. So I have a few extra units to talk about. There were no casualties, and no one suffered permanent injury. We fought excellently. That's all I have to report, if you'll excuse me.
You there, Bjork. What do you think you're doing?
I was trying to get back to my room, but I've lost my way. Can you tell me which way I need to go?
It's this way. Follow me. Hey, not so close. Walk behind me.
What?
Pardon me. The king has ordered us to treat Bjork with kindness, but it will take some time. It is difficult to fight that instinct. Perhaps some memory of the slavery our forefathers suffered at Bjork hands flows in our blood.
I understand. I'll keep my distance.
Very well. Let's go.
All right. It's not how that works. Memories don't flow in the blood.
And so we put this guy right here, and this dealy bobber goes there, and we're finished.
Packing, huh? Want some help?
Do I want some... Pfft, you're a hoot, handsome. I'm already done.
You're more skilled at this than I would have imagined, or is it? That Mist is woefully inept.
Aw, the Begnion Pegasus Knights were always moving around, so I learned to pack quickly. They used to train us on it all the time. Go here, pack this, fun stuff.
Is that so? I can see that you have a strong sense of duty. Quitting the Begnion Pegasus Knights to join us must seem...
What are you saying? I'm a burden now?
No, I'm very grateful you're here. As I told you before, we're short on personnel.
Oh, good then. And I'm happy to be here. Say, Ike, you don't need to worry about me quitting the Begnion service. My decision wasn't based solely on my desire to repay you.
You had other reasons?
Yes, I'm also searching for my missing brother. He may be an adult and a scoundrel, but he's all the family I have in this world. Remember when you found me, when we were fighting the pirates? Well, I was trying to track him down. But every time I go looking for him, I end up in some dangerous situation with ugly boat monkeys trying to kill me.
So that's why you decided to join us, is it? I can understand that.
So, are you sorry you asked?
Not at all. The important thing is finding your brother as quickly as possible, right?
That's the plan.
And then leave. You seem depressed.
Look at who I'm trapped with. Of course I'm depressed. And keep your worthless observations to yourself. All of you are so slow, I can't believe you're still not ready.
Sorry about that. If we were like you and didn't need to carry anything, it would be easier, but we have weapons and things to get ready.
Weapons of steel are a human weakness. Without them, you cannot fight properly.
But Leith, you're carrying a dagger, aren't you? In the scabbard on your leg.
This is not for fighting.
Then what's it for?
I use it to remove small bones from meat. It can also cut fruit into bite-sized pieces. It has proven quite useful. What? If you got something to say, spit it out.
You despise Bjork, but you don't mind Bjork-crafted tools?
If something's good, it's good. Denying something's obvious worth out of petty spite is foolish. It's not that I do not despise everything, Bjork. If every Bjork could get along with us as well as you do, I'm certain.
Leith?
This is a ridiculous conversation. I'm leaving now.
Intriguing. Oh, cool. So, Titania and Ike can finally do the first support.
Hey, Ike, training?
Yeah, you too, huh? Hey, do you want to spar? I learn a lot when we team up.
Really? I'm glad to hear that. I thought you no longer needed my lessons.
What are you talking about? You're the one who put the finishing touches on what swordsmanship I inherited from my father.
I'm honored to hear you say so.
I mean it.
But the talent you inherited from your father is one of a kind.
I want you to cherish it. Huh? Hey, Titania, when did you meet my father? You used to be a Crimean knight, right? That's right. But it's a long story, and we need to train. Get ready. Focus. Fine. For support of the game, Titania does have one other supporting partner that I will be obviously using. Don't think I have any skills to assign. Nothing really to remove either. I do want to talk about my units before I go about making a cut for the rest of my managing. So the new units I have received. First and foremost is Leave. She is a cat, Legoose, from the Beast Tribe. So demi-humans who can transform into beasts. They refuse to fight in their human form. This is such a ridiculous, I want to say, like, ignorant thing that intelligent systems did. Now, they reneged on this for Radiant Dawn, which I'm very happy with, but the fact that Legoose cannot defend themselves in this game untransformed, and you cannot decide their transformations without a singular item that can only be equipped on one of them at a time, or very rare and hard to come by stones that have limited uses. It's unfortunate because the Legoose would be a far and away better addition to the team if they all transformed either immediately, or you could choose their transformations, or you could more readily manipulate their transformations like you can in Radiant Dawn. But being honest with you, even though you can, they're still not all that good, even in Radiant Dawn. There's just too many flaws with the Beast Tribe, the Legoose in general, because the fact of the matter is that they have one range. They're all locked to one range weapons in this game, all of them. So there's no 1-2 range, anything. And even though their stats are good, their caps are great, they don't have weapon rank in this game either. So that 8 might is never going to get any better for Leave. Super unfortunate. Now, when it comes to her growth rates, she has 130% HP, so she has a 30% chance of gaining 2 HP a level, which is pretty great. 50% strength, 5% magic, 65% skill, 70% speed, 50% luck, 40% defense, and 25% resistance. Leave is actually really good growth rate-wise, but in this game, the Legoose only have 20 total levels, so she has 17 left to go. They do not promote, and that's all that there is to it. Now, they are technically pre-promotes, so I do plan on using them to some degree at times. None of them are going to be staples of my team, just because of the lack of usefulness that they pose. There is one exception, well, technically two, but I'm going to get to those later on. And it's not really for combat, it's more or less for utility. Now, Leith comes with the Bjork Guard, which is a magic item that, when equipped, halves the damage done by Bjork attacks, for use by Legoose only. This does not do this. This is a lie. What this does is it takes away all of the effectiveness of Legoose effective weapons. So, now, this is most useful on your Legoose that would be flying. The reason being is because bows are always effective against them, as well as the fact that there's wind magic as well. And then there's also Legoose slaying weapons. So the flying Legoose, particular, they have 3 weaknesses, whereas every other Legoose in this game only has 2. For instance, the Beast Tribe, they're weak to fire, and they're weak to Legoose slaying weapons. The Dragon Tribe are weak to thunder and Legoose slaying weapons. That's pretty much it. That's all you have to really understand. So this is very, very beneficial, especially on your flying Legoose. Now, her transformation gauge starts at 16. So she gets 4 every turn and loses 4 every turn. Her gauge changes by that specific measure.
What this means is that on turn 1, when she obtains her force, she immediately transforms, and you have 5 turns of use with her. Immediately. This is great. So what you can do to make Legus more useful is using multiple of them. And then, depending on their gauge, for this game particularly, what you would do is you would have Leave work first, and then you would have the next transforming unit work second, and then you would just swap them out. It's annoying that it has to be done that way, but that's just how it goes. Now, she has no skills to speak of, but pretty good capacity. And then I have Mordecai here. Mordecai is a tiger, so a bit stronger. Now, both Leave and Mordecai's stats are deceiving. These are their untransformed stats. They do go up by a couple of points here and there, except for HP and luck. I do believe luck doesn't change whatsoever. Now, Mordecai has the growth rates of 150% HP, 65% strength, 0% magic, 55% skill, 50% speed, 40% luck and defense, and 20% resistance. So Mordecai is a bit tankier, a bit beefier, a bit stronger, but he's also a little bit slower and less resistive to magic. So he's kind of like an armor knight with 9 movement, because both, is it 9? It might be 8. It's either 8 or 9 movement when they transform. They have 7 now, but I do believe they either get 1 or 2 points. Not entirely sure. But Mordecai comes with Legus Stone, an item that allows a Legus to remain in animal form. This is a lie. This is a stone that allows a Legus to transform immediately. Now, if you use it while the gauge is low, so I do believe he gains 4 every turn as well. Might be 5. Not entirely sure on that one. I know that the Legus gauges are different per type of Legus. So when he's low on his gauge, you can use a Legus stone to refill his gauge. But otherwise, it's mainly used just to immediately transform, especially because Mordecai always starts with 0 gauge. So you have to wait several turns before he's useful for attack. However, he comes with Smite, which doubles the effect of Shove. Shove is amazing as a feature in the Tellius games. I wish it was a feature staple in the series. Smite allows for some very cool positioning mechanics and positioning like ideas and being able to push units further away. Now, because of Mordecai's extreme and excessive weight of 33, he can pretty well smite everyone, including somebody like Titania, which is pretty awesome. So he, as well as one other tiger that I get in this game, who I love giving the other smite scroll you get in this game, they both are awesome utility units, even if they're not capable of fighting immediately at all times. But that's my rundown of my 2 new units. And this is the end of the episode. I do want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.